And boop, we're live. Third day in a row of D&D.
Day 3! Give it up for day 3!
We haven't done a triple feature in, God,
Since
8 months. We haven't done that since January. Yeah. Now, we have been 1 to 3 people down for each of them. So...
I've been here the whole fucking time.
No, not from Misadventures Her.
Not from Misadventures.
I wasn't invited.
Yours, so. Yeah, exactly.
That's an absent, Moss. That's an absent.
This is...
You weren't here on Saturday. That's an absent.
This is Misadventures Her and Moss.
I'm walking with Marcus. Marcus rocking with us.
My big complaint is you didn't make me more part of the story.
Oh god. But yeah, so to anyone watching right now, Jason, always appreciate you being in here, and the rest of the chat right now is us. So thank you all for coming, and thank you all for chatting. Yes, so going into this, I believe everyone, Mud is the main character, indeed. No, I think the main character is actually Ta, the elevator operator.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's his story.
Rip.
We're all just living in it.
Anybody, it's Todd and Cheryl.
Exactly.
Also, Gab, you say Rip. He's not dead. He's still working the elevator.
Can we go check in on him to see if he's still there after the entire city blew up?
After,
he was there.
Yeah, he was there. He helped Olive down.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't get to that part of the
stream. He said her dog looks sick, and then
he said that's a weird looking horse, and I said shut up, run the elevator.
Shut up, run it, Ta.
Run it, hit it, Joe.
Hit it, Joe. Yes, well, Jason, thank you for asking. Sadly, Darby is still under the weather. We texted them throughout today, asking if they were feeling okay. We got a text very early this morning saying, I don't feel good enough to be doing this right now, so no problem at all. But they told us that we should continue without them, so hopefully, if we do this again next week or the week after, they will be healed up right as rain, and we'll have the Core 4 back. So, again... As always, Darby, if you're watching this, we really hope you get better soon. And
stop.
I'll just take one of this.
Close your eyes and lie down.
Oh, you got another inspiration.
There you go.
We gotta keep track. We gotta keep. Yeah,
I did. I wrote it down last night. I'm gonna write it down.
You know, you guys keeping track of it makes me don't want to give them out so willy-nilly.
I think I had 5.
They have a concussion. You can't not give it out.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. Also, it's like, I'm acting like 2 advantage will upend my plans. My plans will be upended whether or not you guys have advantage.
Man,
so.
that's so true.
Okay.
Gab had 5 inspirations at one point.
Gab rolled 4 nat 20s.
Yeah.
Well, I also rolled 3 nat 1s. It was ridiculous.
We had to balance
a lot
the
of peaks and valleys there, Gab. So.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh.
My first roll was a nat 1.
Yep.
And then I accepted it.
Yep.
Because it's fun to fail.
And then you knew the chaos. I still can't believe you got off that fucking roller coaster. My plans immediately out the window. Immediately. Oh yeah. But speaking of, if you haven't seen Misadventures Her, probably go watch that. Most of this will make sense without it. But it was just a little explanation. As to, oh yeah, Jason, we used to do that. It got way too chaotic. That idea got nipped in the bud so fast. Like we usually try to accommodate each and everybody. But there are things like this where it's if you're not feeling well for a couple of days, and we already kind of had stuff planned out beforehand. It's we'll always ask the person that can't make it.
Yes.
But if they say go on, then we go on. So
yeah, or you could just never miss a session.
What? No matter how bad you feel, no matter how tired you are, you will commit 2 hours of your life to this.
Listen, I have ADHD and I don't commit to much in my life. This is the longest running relationship I've ever had.
Well, I'm so glad that
We're going on 4 years now, right?
Well,
4,
guys,
3.
If you watch Rulebook Optional, you support polyamory, apparently, which, honestly, let's go. But, so, at the end of the day, watch Misadventures Her is going to be catching up after everything that happened there. A lot of crazy changes, class stuff and story stuff, a lot of information. But anything else before we jump right in? Other than register to vote. Go register to vote, absolutely.
Register to vote. Have a good weekend. It's Friday.
Have a good weekend. It is Friday.
Register to vote in the chat. No.
What'd you say?
What's up?
I thought somebody wrote in chat, go register to vote.
No, I mean, you can do that if you want to. You need it first.
Let's all do it.
Do it.
Do it, Gab.
Yeah, hey, you guys, can we get some registers to vote in chat? There we go. Perfect. It's coming in. There we go. Seen it rocking. All right, but with that, we want to play some D&D?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, then, for the third time in a row, a deep and cleansing breath before we begin. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, please join me. Incredible.
Nice.
And everything after the breath is canon. Now, I didn't write a recap for this one, so I'm just gonna do it off the top of the dome. What happened last time on Palm of the Fist? Gangplank Crossing, a 100-yard wide strip, fell apart, and the city is now on fire, kind of, in the most way a city that is made of stone can be on fire. That is because, after going into Henry's Lament, the weapon shop of Gangplank Crossing, MOCH discovered, well, minus her, Mud Olive Cowrie, discovered that Henry, the owner of Henry's Lament, was trying to save and smuggle an enslaved druid out of Gangplank Crossing by the name of Shitpile, aka Piley, Mud's friend from back in Tangleroot. They also learned that Henry of Henry's Lament, Henry is not his real name. Rather, his name is Onria, and his name was bastardized and turned into Henry to be more marketable. But, in greater detail, his name is Onria Baran. Baran being a noble family from Zan Wei Fu, completely disconnected from this campaign, but what is his story? Perhaps we will find out tonight. Now, cutting away, going to Misadventures Her. What happened on Misadventures Her? A lot of information. Her was hopping around, being a shock jockey, riding the lightning, literally. Went to the filling aisle, went to the crown aisle, and then finally ended up within the Fury. Learned a lot of good information that I'm not going to spoil right now, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be shared amongst the characters. But has now returned back. Returned back to the morals, returned back to the supports, and is now in the rain, pouring, the docks moving all underneath her, as Mud, Olive, and Cowrie, sleeping, whatever, are underneath the main deck, talking with Onria after the Baran reveal. And you are all able to hear above you on the main deck heavy footsteps sink like onto your main deck as you step back onto the exterminator, sizzling after being struck by lightning 3 times, cut marks on your arm and your legs and your cheeks. You smell like the trash can of a candy store. You're all over the place right now as you then begin descending down the steps to where everybody else is, and the floor is yours.
Is him above or below deck?
Him was knitting below deck, talking with everybody, with Henri when everyone was there.
I didn't know you could buy knitting supplies at the store. That's good to know.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, I'll make my way below deck to see everyone, knowing that the top deck is completely empty. I'll crawl my way down.
Okay. You all see her, who is again actively smoking, smells sickeningly sweet, and is bleeding from lacerations on her arm and legs.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. What's up? Where'd you guys go? Actually,
Where did you go?
right. Yeah. I turn around and you just see 4 big arms coming out of my back, and I'm like a little bit bigger. My shoulders are a little bit broader, and I turn back around and I go, yeah.
What happened?
I was first thrown. I zapped out of the space we were all hanging out in, and I was zapped to a mine cart. Was going 100 miles per hour down the mine cart, and realized I was at the circus part of the Molar Isles. You know, the slave. Yeah. Got myself out of there. Got some information. I see Cowrie sleeping, but their old crewmate is there. Tesla, the Clumping Cleric.
Oh. Okay.
Enslaved. There's
Right.
13 bad guys. They call themselves the Baker's Dozen. I'll cut forward. Lollipop is there. I tried to save Lollipop. I got zapped away again to the other part of the Molar Isles, and I was in a test tube. MR PhD was there. Fuse was there, and AJ was there.
Who?
Our old friend.
Right.
He was, my parents hired him to protect me in turnaround, and he left shortly after we arrived at the well for the first time.
Is he another chosen one or something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised, because they were about to operate, like, dissect on him.
That's fucked.
Yeah. But there were 40 test tubes, 39 were filled, and this is kind of messed up. They were all the old crew members from my ship when I woke up without remembering anything, and they started zapping them and killing them, and the wraith was coming out of each and every single one of them. And I realized the only reason 40 weren't filled is because him was supposed to be the 40th, but him's wraith is out of him. So that was fun. And then I thought I was gonna die, and then I zapped out of there again because I can ride lightning now. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah. And then I ended up in the middle of the Eye of the Fury, and there's a ship. It's Captain Indago's ship in the middle of the Fury. When I was falling out of the sky, I was getting cuts. Something was hurting me. I don't know what it was. Could have been rapes, could have been anything. There was a blue dragon, not Eleanor, the dragon that works here, like a big blue dragon that flies in the sky, circling the ship. Captain Indago was talking to me. And he wanted me to join the ship again, and I realized he's not talking about me being his first mate. He's talking about the wraith inside of me being his first mate. I'm just a vessel. Oh, and two last things. Rahi and the Duke aren't on the ship currently, right?
They can be if you want.
No.
Okay, got it.
Charlotte killed herself. And then Captain Indago used her body for this wraith to be his first mate. It's a big ship. It's the biggest ship I think I've ever seen. I don't know if I want to tell Rahi or the Duke that. Maybe ever. And then I was pretty much falling to my death because I was in the sky, and I don't know, I just felt like I needed to get out of there and survive, and then these 4 arms appeared on the back of my back. So that's where I've been. And then I realized the city is on fire, so what's up with that?
Yes, well, good news. The troll that runs Gangplank Crossing is dead.
Okay.
Central part of Gangplank Crossing is destroyed. Also good news.
Okay.
I gestured to Ria. Henry's going to be staying with us for a while.
Yes.
He was helping smuggle out a druid from Tangleroot, who is also on their way shortly.
What?
Are there people trying to come after you guys? Did anybody see?
I think, well, no.
No, we killed everybody who saw our faces. Besides, the Eric Cochra, who was like,
Curve cut.
all creepy and stuff.
Oh, yes.
Curve cut. she was like, "You slavers disgust me," and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean? Look in a mirror!" And then I threw a barrel of gunpowder into the fire and blew up the shop. But it was more like a group effort, maybe.
No, Mud, take credit for your actions.
Yeah, so I like blew up part of the bridge. I look around for any wires. I ritual cast detect magic to make sure we're not being spied on.
No, oh yeah, you ritual cast immediately is like, I blew up the shop, and then you look to see if there are any cameras around you, and you're all good. No scrying on you right now.
I look in the plants.
You look at the ship. Mud goes into full, like, your nose elongates into like an anteater's nose. You start sniffing around the ship. You're clear. Don't worry.
Okay, we're good. We're cool, guys. We're cool.
Yes, anyone that was there is dead. So that's also good news. Bad news. Ken was in the store the entire time we were there.
What?
Yes, he was camouflaged, invisible the entire time, and so as we were escaping, he tried to. We were on these crates that were above the water, and he broke the chains in an attempt to have us fall to our deaths, which we didn't. He looks terrible, so that's probably good.
Terrible as in like ugly, or terrible as in hurt?
So tired. Like, so
Okay.
tired. And
Oh.
also, like, he doesn't have most of his shit because Cowrie stole almost all of it.
Oh, good.
But he definitely has no feelings for Kaori anymore, so he's probably okay with killing us now. So
Okay.
I'll keep, and I have see invisibility still, so I can keep an eye out for that as we progress into the city. But that's kind of that. Are you all right, Per? That was a lot of stuff you went through.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm all right. I'm confused a little bit. I think like the biggest thing that confuses me is this whole MRPHD thing and why they need these wraiths. And the only thing I could think of is if there's some sort of partnership between MRPHD and Captain Indago wanting the wraiths back. I just don't understand why those people were there, and I feel bad. And I like Lollipop. Here's the problem, Lollipop. I was able to get the chain. Like, all right, the slavers there all have bronze collars around their neck, and it stops them from sharing like true emotions. They just have to be happy and smiley all the time, to the point where it's creepy. I was able to break it off Lollipop, and Lollipop threw me out the window to save myself. But I don't know if there's Sweet Tooth is getting tired of Lollipop. However, they were going to operate on AJ. You know, I don't want him to get hurt, even though
I don't want him to either. I assumed he left of his own volition, but perhaps, or maybe he did and was kidnapped. No, I don't want him to get hurt either. Plus, you said Fuse was there too, right?
Yeah, Fuse was there. However, I do know the easiest way, or I know the way to get to Sweet Tooth's office, and I was like in the mines and everything, so it would be easy to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Lollipop's not in immediate danger.
But you said Sweet Tooth was getting sick of Lollipop.
We might have a couple days.
I see.
I don't know how many days we're gonna have with AJ.
Well, right, and we technically only have 4 days here before the storm passes. It sounds to me, I don't know what MRPHD was using the race for other than power, but it sounds like, does Captain Indago control the Fury? Is it his storm? Is the Fury his ship? Or without him, is there no Fury?
Well, maybe he has the weapon that makes the Fury, you know? What if it's like a set of dice? How funny would that be? Like, oh, I roll and then lightning appears.
I mean, he does have a set of dice.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I
like,
know. It
Can I
was
make-
in the eye
yeah.
of the storm.
Does it, from what I've said, you guys have said about MRPHD, isn't it like she like has different bodies and shit? So maybe the wraiths are like part of like her having different vessels or whatever.
I don't know. However, all of you remember when we were on turnaround and the MRPHD exploded, but you know how they had that weird look on their face?
Yes.
Or like how they looked? It was very odd. The Fuse had the same sort of facial, like, I don't want to say recognition, but like similarities. Like he was like very out of it. He didn't look normal, like a normal person.
Well, doesn't she need lightning for like all her experiments? So maybe the wraiths are like energy sources.
I just
Perhaps.
don't understand how she found out about all 40 of us.
Maybe she made you.
No, because it sounds like Captain Indago.
What if you guys were like, you had wraiths and like Indago was shipping them to MRPHD, but then along the way, like you got lost in the Fury or something? Or
From what it sounded like and what he was saying and what I understood was that the wraith inside of me was his first mate. And that when I died, he used my body to be this wraith's vessel. Am I saying this correctly, Drew?
So you get
that
the
what
sense. So no, you guys, you're like 90% of the way there. So the way that he's talking about it, it sounds like the wraith existed outside of your body for these 2 years, and then when you sailed out of the storm, the wraith was put back into your body somehow. So you wonder. So like talking about it right now in terms of like the physical nature of existence and like the soul, like the ethereal, you get the sense that for those 2 years that you were gone, your wraith existed outside of your body and your body wasn't even a factor.
Oh, interesting. But I was kind of connected to the wraith for that 2 years because
In a sense.
Okay, because Charlotte died. The body was somewhere. The wraith left the storm and took up Charlotte's body again.
Potentially.
hey, maybe you are just the wraith, like her. Maybe you just are the wraith, and like, you know, well, like, and Indago's like, I want the wraith back, but maybe like, you know, the way like people will be like, I want the old you back, and it's like, I'm still them, but I'm also a new person, and so
Mud quotes Kanye West. Just. I want the
guy.
old Charlotte.
No, but like, I don't know, maybe that's why you like have all, you know, that's why you have all the lightning powers and stuff. Or maybe you're just new, you know, that's cool too.
I haven't really been able to do any lightning powers when I came back from the storm.
Originally?
What? I mean, like,
When you first woke up, or recently?
recently. Like, when I just came back from
Oh.
this. I could do
No.
this and I levitate, but like,
You
That-
could always do that though.
yeah. I can't really do
Try casting Misty Step. Try teleporting.
Well, that's not lightning, that's...
I can't cast any of it.
Any spells?
No.
Are you
Is that-
like,
What do you mean? You mean
I
like,
mean, you look stronger. I know you've been training with Rahi, but I don't... This seems like a more overnight...
is there Mud, you're pretty strong. Let me punch you and see if it
Okay.
hurts. I could punch Mud. Like, in the
hit.
chest.
Excellent. Do you go into a
You
rage?
go through the hole.
Do you go into a rage beforehand?
I don't know if her really knows how to rage, but I think the Wraith kind of does, so the Wraith is gonna make her rage.
That was a roller coaster of a sentence.
Yes, I will rage, but I think because like the way we were like talking about this out of game, it's like the Wraith and her are kind of like more meshed together rather
Yeah.
than her like using the Wraith energy.
Yeah.
So I think the Wraith can kind of just come out. So this rage, it like is from the Wraith. The Wraith is like initiating.
I
it.
think
So-
with this like unarmed strike that's taking place here, go ahead and give me just an unarmed strike real quick. No, or do you automatically hit because Mud is just like submitting to it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, okay, yeah, go ahead and mark that down. Because you're still kind of figuring this out. You're all able to like so the arms coming off of her's back are small at them. They're not ever present. It almost looks like similar to like pixie wings, like dragonfly wings, where it's like just like two arms on top, two on the bottom, and they're very small. Like they have 3 fingers, like bolts of lightning connected to like a main like forearm, like long kind of extension. And her, as you go to punch Mud, you're able to all hear, and one of these arms explodes like out of her's back and becomes enormous, 15 feet long, and so one of them explodes out. The rest come out and connect with the ground. So it's these 3 almost like talony hands on the ground right now as lightning begins sparking off of the like lightning connecting them to her's back. One comes up, fully grabs Mud around the shoulders and the chest and presses him into the interior wall of the exterminator so hard that boards crack a little bit, and just kind of holds you there and just kind of presses you there. And her's arms are fully down like by her sides, babe. Like she's like she was going to punch you and missed because the arm got there first.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. And I kind of like back away to see if the hand kind of goes away.
Yeah, as you back away, the hand and lets go, and Mud hits the ground, and you're able to watch and kind of like look around, and no damage is being done like in terms of damage points, but the lightning striking off of her's arms, connecting with the ground, like connecting with like her going through her, like you're able to see blackened sparks of like wood being burned, as it seems there's like this damaging aura that happens around her when she taps into this anger for survival.
Can I make
You
an
okay?
Arcana check?
You absolutely can, yeah.
Are you okay, Mud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm perfect. I'm good.
12.
With a 12,
My mouth tastes like metal.
I feel like in this moment, Olive, you recognize that this is like her's powers have always been like connected to the Fury. This has been known for months at this point. This is the first time since like the love tentacle. I just saw a tentacle pop up on chat. This is the first time since the love temple where it's like, oh, this is like a wraith momentarily coming out of a person, but their powers are helping instead of harming. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
JC
Wow.
dog.
Wow. Fuck. That was good.
Do you need a healing potion? I
No,
like whip out
no,
all of my arms. Whip
No.
out like a different
Nope.
potion.
I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay.
Jason.
The arms all and they start putting stuff back in your bag for you. You're like 4 arms from Ben 10.
Tag yourself. Which alien are you?
4 arms. When I spoke to the accountant, he mentioned when he asked us to dispose of 3 individuals who had cheated death, who had been influenced by certain deities, as some of us have, and both the MRPhD you saw was Dr. Maple Redwood.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was one of them, as was Captain Imdago. So they're both they're not gods, but they just don't operate how how mortals work, where something wanted them brought back, some deity wanted them brought back. So it's entirely possible that they're working together, or they could just have separate goals that seem similar. Him, can I ask you something?
Yes.
How was your wraith removed when we did that? Or was that not us? Did you do
That
that
was
yourself?
us.
That was you. Well, more specifically, all of you helped. There came a critical point where my wraith began clawing its way out of me, creating this great storm, this great strike of lightning. And after everyone here, or the original crew, saved all of the people that I indirectly put in danger. I remember the one with the scars, the one with the white hair, Rhyme. He jumped, somehow grabbed a hold of it, and dragged it into water, where it electrified everything, electrified me, electrified him, and electrified itself, and the wraith dissipated. And after that, I believe I passed out for a great many days, and then woke up to all of you.
And did you, prior to that, did it feel like the wraith was keeping you alive?
To be honest, I didn't feel much of anything at all. There wasn't any anger, sadness, nor happiness or passion, just life.
Then I think from what you've told us, I think Indago is talking about your wraith. Did Charlotte always have this wraith, or it wasn't until she went into the store?
No. I mean, Rahi didn't. Rahi was surprised when I had powers when I came back.
Right.
Yeah, and same
right.
with the Duke.
Right. Then it doesn't sound like Indago wants your body. It wants what's in you. Do you think there's a way of... Well, it seems like it's helping you now, not harming you. So I don't know if you'd want to remove it, but I'm sure there's a way to do it without killing you. Not the way MRPhD was doing it.
I don't know. That's something to think about. I never really thought about that. I also don't think I really understood it fully. I knew there was some sort of wraith, but I didn't, fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that with a great idea, everyone here can go ahead and give me an Arcana check very quickly.
Ooh. But with the new stats, what is that?
9.
We got a 9.
24.
24.
19.
19. Yeah, Mud, seeing the... Okay, got it. All right. No problem. Olive and her...
You don't need to make me feel special. This is in character.
Oh, okay, got it. Mud, you're like, lightning. Weird. I prefer grass. I'm gonna go...
Yeah.
I'm gonna grow some oranges real quick. for her and for Olive being being more than half of what the original crew then turned into, you guys are able to like kind of think back and realize that when Him's wraith started freaking out, Him didn't display any command of powers at all before the wraith tried to rip itself out of him and like turn into a storm, basically. You get the sense that although like removal could be possible, that is something that's possible, but it seems that at least from what you saw her, you might be the only one of your crew that can command power in some way from the wraith. You get the sense where it's like whatever powers the wraiths have for quote unquote normal people, they just kind of lay dormant until they explode out suddenly.
I just thought of an idea. And this kind of sounds crazy. What if the Fury is just a bunch of wraiths? When I fell from the sky, I was getting, well, no, how, but then if it was a bunch of wraiths, why was mine first captain or first mate?
Perhaps because you can command power, that's a testament to your strength and your wraiths.
Yeah, it's so interesting because if Him's wraith was trying to become a storm again, would that just mean the original form was a storm? And when I was falling, I was getting scraped up while in the sky, and it wasn't the dragon that was circling overhead. I don't know.
So there was a dragon. I just want to let you know, you didn't hallucinate that. There was a dragon somewhere in there.
But it's not what I got hit from.
No.
Because I was looking at the dragon and getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the dragon the Fury? Or does it control it? Is that why it's so irregular?
I thought we decided that it was like one of the great weapons that was making the Fury run.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know. I think it's all theories here.
Yeah, yes. The map Tior gave us is old and outdated. I don't. Was there an X on the Fury?
No,
the Fury wasn't even on the map.
DM? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not seeing the Fury there.
The Fury wasn't always around.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until a couple hundred years ago.
Until about 500 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, based upon timelines that you guys have followed up on, that was right around the same time that the first pirates came to the Arbor.
Okay.
You were saying something, Mud?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if you're a good case to base the others around, like you were in Dago's first mate, so maybe that's why you like there's something very, very special about you. And so
well,
I don't know.
Speaking of special, Henry, what you go ahead. Sure, are you gonna say something?
Yeah. Just one more investigation check because I want to add, because you guys are like have these like clues put together, and I want to just like kind of push some of them together. Can put the Legos together basically.
Who wants guidance?
I only had a +1 to. Are you asking to talk it out, or is this a roll?
Oh, it's gonna be a roll, just investigation roll.
I had a +1 to investigation, so I don't know.
I have +6 now. So
what the fuck?
Yeah,
what
I rolled a 20.
Fuck?
I rolled a 21.
Holy shit!
I'll give guidance to Olive then. That's good. Oh, not bad.
So,
23.
Oh goddamn.
Let's go.
Well, Mud, I think it makes a lot of sense because, like, you're helping out. You're a being that's trying to reconnect with nature, and this entire, of course, hurricanes and like the Fury are these like violent manifestations of nature in some way, but nature nonetheless. And I feel like just everyone kind of putting their heads together. There's one minor correction that I wanted to make that Olive and her are able to kind of recognize with the assistance of Mud. Her said that during this like weird experiment that happened inside of the Crown Isle, there was this like, when they were removing the wraiths, they were killing all the people like that the wraiths were inside. But then you remember him. I forgot his name for a second. That wasn't for dramatic effect. I just forgot his fucking name. You remember him?
You could have passed it off as it.
I definitely, yeah. Well, no, I'm being honest. You remember that him had his wraith removed, and he's still here. Now, he blacked out for a while. He definitely was not okay afterwards, but he's still alive. And you get the sense that the removal of these wraiths doesn't necessarily mean the lethality of the people within. Now, maybe it does. Perhaps it does, but it's not a 100% guarantee. And in addition to that, you also remember that... Oh, I'm just trying to remember. That MRPHD said extraction and transference. And you remember like that giant machine that she like kind of plugged into everything. And so you're thinking, oh, maybe there's a way of removing these things from the host without necessarily killing them, but also where are they going? Like, what is the purpose of this? Make sense?
Yeah.
I know. And also, let me be honest here. It definitely wouldn't feel good, and you still might die. It's just not a 100... It seems like him might be a little bit of a weird case in terms of it just worked out like he just rolled well on the dice, so...
Where are they going? I didn't really stick around long enough to see what the wraiths kind of became, did I?
No, you did not. You also have no idea if the experiment was a success.
Yeah, true.
They be powering the Crown Isle, or is that too simple?
That specific part of the Crown Isle, I thought was getting its power from the lightning that
Yep.
kept striking the top of it.
Yep.
Why would they need more lightning?
Maybe they're like gonna shove all the wraiths into one body and be like,
Are they
Well, it's
trying to make? Are they trying to make the storm bigger?
I don't understand why they would do that because it's totally grounded all ships around the Molar Isles. So
Maybe make their own storm, because the Fury is here for 4 days, and then it's going wherever it goes next. Perhaps they're trying to harness the Fury while it's here, and then use that for future experiments.
The thing that does it, like, it keeps boggling my mind is how were they able to extract us specifically?
I mean, it's like a skinwalker, this MRPHD, right? Like, this is kind of her specialty.
But I lost contact with all of them once we hit turnaround. And then I
Well,
was
isn't
zapped
that-
in there.
Isn't that
Like, how-
also where you lost AJ in turnaround, or was that?
No, we lost him in the well. What if... What if whatever happened to him happened to your other crewmates? And what if Rhyme's people got a notice of a strange amount of energy and collected on that? Do you have a very hot, cold, warm?
I heard an idea that was so good I had to stop myself from reacting. I'm not going to say when I heard it. But I
Oh,
will
no.
say is that, you remember that another person came in after you. Now, let's be honest. You're very important in this story, obviously. The person that came in after you, just a random fucking person. But their human body materialized along, like from the lightning strike, similar to yours. And you remember how back in the Love Temple, when that, like, weird electrical teleportation was happening, the giant storm that was starting, like, over the Love Temple, it seemed that himself, like, his biological body and his wraith were going to become pure energy and be teleported somewhere.
Oh, maybe MRPHD was teleporting them.
Or they
Maybe she was trying to.
or they teleported themselves. The race we're going to the Fury, and the Fury is at the Molar Isles.
The golden tops of the Crown Isle, absorbing all of those lightning strikes.
Oh,
Kate, you hit the nail on the fucking head. The normal lightning strikes have been powering the Crown Isle and powering the Filling Isle. But what about the ones that aren't normal? What about the shock jockeys? The ones that can ride lightning strikes? The wraiths and the people become pure energy, and they become part of the Fury. But when the Fury's lightning strikes are condensed down onto the top of the Crown Isle, seems that MRPHD had a way, with all that golden machinery, all the test tubes, of trapping people inside, of stealing them away from the Fury.
Oh, I mean, glass is famously a great insulator against electricity.
Can you re-explain that? I'm so sorry. What was the first part of it that Kate said?
So, from what I understand, Drew, correct me if I'm missing anything. So, when Him's Wraith came out, if we didn't intercept, he would have gotten teleported somewhere. He would have gotten teleported to the Fury. And so, what happened to him happened to all those 39 crewmates.
Okay.
And they were going to the Fury, but because the Fury is located at the Molar Isles, MRPHD found a way to sort of harness that electricity and intercept their teleportation from the Fury to the Crown Isle.
Exactly, yeah. And, of course, the Fury isn't always by the Molar Isle. Again, it constantly does, like, counter...
Yeah,
it is, like,
yeah.
I'm saying
clockwise rotation.
because it so happened to be there.
Yeah.
That's where they went.
And you also don't know how long all those people were there, because again, the Fury's been doing like
Right.
multiple loops. It has like
Right.
like a 2-week loop cycle. And it's been like several months, and so every time it's been passing by the Molar Isles, presumably it's just been sucking up more and more people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just confused what she's doing with the wraiths then.
Transferring him.
To the shock jockeys?
No, she's taking it out of the shock jockeys.
Jockey.
I don't think we know exactly what she's doing with them yet.
Okay.
But we can find out if, since AJ is a shorter window, perhaps we go there and maybe try to ask some questions, or if we kill her, then we can collect on the accountant's deal.
Would be nice.
What was it for for each kill info and remaining targets? First kill, Ongo won't watch us anymore. Second kill, Ongo becomes an ally. Third kill, the accountant owes us a favor. Okay.
And Ongo's been in this corner of the room the entire time.
Yeah.
He just kind of like looks at Cowrie, kind of like just sleeping like on one of the cots, and Ongo goes, and he just pulls a blanket and puts it over Cowrie.
Don't let them sleep. That's weird.
and he turns away and he steps behind a post and disappears.
Sorry, Mud, you were saying something?
I'm gonna go. I'll be. When we have a plan, I'll be back, and Mud's gonna go take care of his garden.
Insight check.
I'm following you.
Ongo pops back around the corner.
God damn it!
Insight check.
No, her,
Damn
come. Come with me. No way.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 19. I'm trying to read your
Oh, that's
body
good.
language.
That's good.
Mud is always has a mild level. Hang on, wait, I'll wait.
14.
Damn it, I rolled a 6. Wait, what do I have on?
Ah.
Okay,
You got
what is
nothing.
this for?
You're not
Oh.
good at hiding your
Oh,
emotions.
so that's great. So
Mud.
no matter what, it's gonna be a 4. Okay, so Bud always just has a low level of body language that is I'm uncomfortable. And it's just he's like it's like his shoulders are so like hunched, especially as like he now thinks he's out of sight as he like steps out of the room. Like his shoulders just hunch more, and he just looks very, very, very uncomfortable. And he's
I'm
gonna he's gonna squat down next to his plants and start like druid crafting. Like once he's in his in the little underground garden, he just start like tending and pruning and like focusing in on it.
I'm following you.
Yeah, and I'm behind Olive.
Yeah.
My arms are slowly going back into my body. They're not as huge anymore.
And actually,
Also, he,
oh no, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
he doesn't bleed, but he's walking with a slight limp.
Oh, yikes.
Excuse me.
Huh?
We make plans and decisions as a crew. I know this is a lot, but you're not exempt from plan making, even if it doesn't involve you.
No, I mean like you guys. You pick a person and I'll follow.
What's going on?
Oh wow. It's just, I'm so close on making this orange tree a thing, and I'm gonna make sure we don't get any scurvy.
Mud.
Go nature.
Not only are we a crew, but we're your friends, and we care about your well-being. And when you walk off like that, it raises concern.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it better next time. I'll
Or
be
you could
cool.
just tell us right now what's going on.
I don't wanna. It's a lot. Okay, I feel like no matter what we do, we're gonna go and get really hurt again, and I'm nervous about it, and I don't like just standing. I don't know. I'm trying not to be. I don't want to like have my mess, because like obviously like her, you've got like 5 arms, no, 6 arms now, and like that's super cool and awesome, and that should let's talk more about that, please. Like that's great. My mess feels very small, so I'll just yeah.
We're still en route to Tangleroot.
Your mess is not small. We're in Eastern Waters. We found a friend of yours. We saved them. We killed a slaver lord.
It's just a lot. Like
I know.
you guys are.
It's a lot for us too, Mud.
Sorry, I didn't.
And you hear a figure crash into water.
I didn't want to. I'm sorry. I should have done it better. I should have said it
I
better.
hop out the
didn't
window
need
while
to-
they're doing this conversation. I'll hop out the window to see who just crashed in the water. I'll be right back, and I
did-
Help me! I can't swim!
her jumps in the water. I grab him.
Again, horrible storm, rain pattering everywhere. You dive in, you grab onto this like flying squirrel man who holds onto you so tightly.
Who are you?
Yeah, my name's Shitpile. And like you're like keeping both of your heads above water. The waves are so tall, crashing on you.
I'm not calling you shit pile. I need an actual name.
People called me Piley. Can we get out of the water, please?
Okay, and I like will kind of like try to. I'll just like climb on my way up the ship on the back and have him on my back.
He goes, "Oh my god, that's amazing! You're climbing up with just one arm and holding me with the other." And you climb up the side of the ship so, like, with a feat of strength that her would never have been able to do 30 minutes ago.
No.
So,
No.
as you climb up to the main deck of the ship, as there is this soaking wet Hadazee man going by the name of Piley now on your ship, as Olive and Mud are having that conversation below deck.
I didn't want to. I'm sorry. I should have done it in a better way. I didn't want to make it about me. I just wanted to look at some plants and be reminded that I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't
Mud.
mean to.
Look at me.
Okay.
You, me, her, maybe Kaori, if they're awake. We will finish this discussion later. I don't want you to apologize. I just want you to talk to us.
You're like wicked scary, but like in a cool way. Anyways, I'm gonna end.
I walk out to the deck.
Yeah. I follow after her.
Onria stops you, Mud. As you're walking, again, like slatted armor, like again, like mask covering their entire bugbear face, long horn, stops you, and just like hands behind his back, just says to you, I experienced a great pain, a great betrayal, years ago. The pain destroyed me. It pulled me away from everything and everyone. Only several days ago did I finally anchor myself to something more than pain. That is all. And Onria will follow, not wanting to be in any personal space without express permission from you guys.
Me and Piley come in from the top of the deck, soaking wet, hair flopping everywhere, onto the bottom of the deck with everyone else.
Hi, I see you found our ship well enough.
Piley is legitimately so happy to be on solid ground. The ocean, you're able to see it's kind of like visibly shaking, hates swimming, can't swim, terrified of the ocean, terrified of a storm like this and what it does to the ocean, and immediately begins kind of like pushing themselves up, still in a bronze collar, like bellhop uniform, just kind of looks and says, I was happy to make my way here. It was a bit difficult to find the storm. It was dark and the rain was in my eyes, but thank you for the invitation to be here.
Can I do an insight or arcana check on the bronze collar to see if it's similar to the ones that I saw before?
Yeah, no, yeah, give me an arcana check. Yeah.
Oh, yikes. I'm gonna flip my coin because we're not doing anything too important this session. Oh,
he's very important to me.
12.
He's important to me, damn it.
I mean, like, we're not battling anyone.
You're all
hopefully.
good. Well, her, a couple things. First of all, you realize that, like, with your strength now, you could just rip this thing off of his neck with no pain whatsoever. Number two, you're able to recognize that these collars have no magical properties whatsoever. They're just a visual reminder of who is of what social class. And with a 12, you remember how when you held your breath when Sweet Tooth blew that white substance into your face, you realize that kind of like as you touch your own face, your face is like sticky. It's like your fingers and like your cheek kind of like pull against each other, and you realize that Sweet Tooth was trying to blow sugar directly into your face. And you get the sense that the collars and the Fey charm effect are two totally separate things.
Oh, then why was it that when I took the collar off Lollipop came to fruition?
Because with Lightning Lure, you have to damage the target. It seems that physical pain, like intentional damage, snaps these people out of the charmed effect.
Got it. I turn to Piley and I go, why don't you take that bronze thing off? Do you want me to take that off of you?
Piley does not respond, but you're able to see a very like small head shake, as he looks very, very excited for that to be the case.
All right, I'll like on each side of it, kind of grab it and pull it off his neck as gently as I can without hurting him.
Mud, it's almost like you're looking in a mirror to several months ago as you're able to see Piley take a deep breath, chest fully expanding. But it's not the chest that you focus on, it's the neck, as their esophagus finally opens up to its full breath as he's able to catch a deep breath of air. Thank you. Thank you deeply.
We're all inside, right?
Yeah, you can all move back down below deck so you're out of the range.
We are below deck, yeah.
Yeah. I'll get a spare blanket and wrap it around Piley's shoulders.
Around Piley's shoulders, Piley nods to you in thanks and then shuffles his way over and stands basically like arm, like just tries to do this. If there's any rejection, of course, stands like arm touching arm to Mud and just kind of rests his head on Mud's shoulder.
I just take a deep breath with him.
It's like you're like soothing someone through a panic attack, basically.
Yeah.
We may have spare clothing aboard, or we can ask our friends if they have spare clothing if you'd like to change out of that.
I pull out my dress that I previously had on because I'm on Western attire.
Oh, yeah.
If you want like a nightgown, it might be a little big on you.
I offer up my billowy shirt and my straw hat.
Fuck it, just roll it. We're gonna say that Piley's gender fluid. Goes like, I've never worn a dress before. That'd be very nice.
Whatever you're most comfortable in, sure.
Takes your dress and will kind of be like, may I change in private?
Yeah. Of course, yes.
Just kind of goes and like it just pulls a curtain around and like just begins to change. As Piley is on your ship right now.
Nice. Who is this?
Drink.
Who is Piley? I just saw Piley drowning out there. No, seems like everybody knows Piley. He did say his name was what was it? Shit.
That's not his name.
I wasn't gonna call him that.
He's a friend from Tangleroot.
Oh.
We used to be friends. We are friends.
Of course, yeah.
He's who Andrea, and I'll gesture to Henry, was smuggling out of Gangplank. Andrea is Henry's real name.
Oh.
Andrea Baran. I know this means nothing to my character, but I feel like Olive's read enough books to know at least a little bit about... Can I make a history check about that name?
I will say that Olive can know... I will say this. Olive knows who the Barans are.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor, Kate, and have Olive explain to Mud and to her who the Barans are? But I want you to flavor it like Olive was reading like textbooks. So how do you think the Barans would be presented to the rest of the world?
We'll look at Andrea. Please, I've only read a few books on your country, but from what I've read, the Barans are a noble family in the country of Zanwei-Fu. They're currently ran by Tropos Baran, an Ergenasi man. He has 3 children. Tropos is...
He's the father, yep.
The father. There's Iche Baran, Peres Baran, and Lobos Baran. But Iche and Peres are adopted. Lobos is his only true heir. That was all they covered. Really, I mean, you are from there. You were in that family, so you know more than I do. But that's the basic information I've learned. Is that correct?
I would imagine from your research there has been certain absence of brutality, but that is true, yes.
DM, I can't remember. Would the duels be public knowledge? Or no, that was the
You know it's been a
That
crazy
was-
campaign when I gotta ask which one.
sorry, no, I'm thinking about the Rosks, because Tropos didn't engage in any duels, right?
No, it was the
It was the
Morias
Rosks.
and the Rock.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like if we're talking textbooks, I think that's the only knowledge she would get from that.
Yeah, Unria, again, full mass, covers and says, a minor correction is that although I carry the name Baran, I have no siblings. Paris and Lobos were never my kin, and Iche removed himself from fraternity a long time ago.
From you?
Yes.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
You got it. No problem. 26.
Holy shit. Again, a man from, you have no idea how long he's been here, but clearly holds, like, there's a great amount of formality to him. Like, he's been raised to, like, a higher level of, like, social custom than, like, pirates would, basically. And, like, you realize, oh, he hasn't sat down on the ship yet. Oh, he's only going places that you guys are in the ship. Like, he's like being very respectful of your property and your space. And he looks to you and says, given you have saved my life several times now, and also I appreciate the donation of 50 gold. It would only be right for me to tell you, the man who now shares quarter with you for right now, before you determine whether or not we will remain with you for any length of your journey. Do you wish to hear my story?
If you're willing to share it, yes.
And with a 26, he'll ask you, do you wish to hear all of it? Or do you wish to hear what brought me here?
Whatever you're most willing to share. I'm sure it's better suited to learn of how you came here, but I am curious as to the full of it.
May I sit?
You could have always sat.
Kind of cocks his head, a little bit confused at that, but he respectfully kind of like pulls out like a sitting crate and sits himself down on it. Straight.
Would you like us to sit as well?
They are your dwellings. You may do as you please.
I'll sit.
You sit. Everybody kind of gets ready for story time. Again, rain pattering, lightning cracking outside. Piley kind of like huddles up next to Mud. Him comes over and like kind of puts a hand on the back of her. And Unria, I'm gonna be as quick as I can with this because I don't want to bog anything down.
Oh, sorry, time.
Oh, and Unria begins to tell his tale. And we'll take a very quick break because we're at an hour and 11 minutes in.
Story
Can I
time!
I I just had this really bad, weird, intrusive thought where I went, as him sat down next to her, I was like, wow, I bet her would give such good back massages now with her forearm.
Yeah, you can get the ribs.
You're like
and
the
the
creepy guy in the office who just walks up behind the female coworkers and starts
No.
giving them.
No, not like that.
Don't do that. Gonna
No,
go to
don't
jail.
Don't do that.
And what you did was wrong, and you're going to jail.
If you
Also,
work in
him,
an office
him
space,
is huge.
if you work in an office space where men come up and start giving you unprompted back massages, you need to quit and call the cops.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is-
Yeah, but him's a big boy, so you can get the shoulders,
get all
and
of the
deep
chops
in there.
knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in there.
Okay, so
if I
here's,
could just get in there.
so here's the plan. 5-minute quick break. We're just gonna run an ad real quick. We're gonna come back and then we're gonna have a little bit of story time. Then decide what we're gonna do next. Sound good?
Story time.
All right, everyone having fun so far?
Storyteller. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. Okay, then we'll be back soon, guys. Thank you for just coming and hanging out. We'll see you soon. Peace out.
Bye.
And we're back. Okay, it is story time. Right? It's story time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the music is so fucking quiet. I have to change it. I'm so sorry. That fits. That's good. Let me just make sure it's all good. Oh my god. And yeah, Coda, thank you for coming to the table. I know we saw that you just followed this stream, so yeah, welcome. We do this.
We have
Yeah.
a Discord.
Yeah, we have a
We have
Discord.
a
We have a
Discord.
YouTube if you want to catch anything that's been happening before.
Instagram, TikTok.
We also do this too much, so you're probably gonna catch us again some point. But we're back. On Ria's story. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Unria, sitting, mask on, says, I was part of a bugbear brood within the Feywild. Tropos Baran came and went the portal within Calm, allowing him access. I never knew my biological parents. All I knew was that I had a brother, Iche. Tropos adopted us both, along with a satyr named Paris. Perhaps as replacements for his son, who even at 12, 13 was already, at least in his eyes, a disappointment. Tropos took a liking to Iche and I. Our Fey origins aligned well with his personal philosophy. And before anything else, I believed that if things went differently, one of us would have been named the chosen heir. Iche was always larger, more powerful. The dominant one. And he took well to power. To dominance both hierarchical and physical. The rate at which he became dangerously intelligent concerned me. And once Tropos began instructing him in the way of battle, it was clear how dangerous he was becoming. Tropos took us on a hunting trip into the forests surrounding Stillwater when we were 15, 16 years old. We were hunting doppelgangers. There was long rumored to be a pack of them somewhere living close to Stillwater, but we were never able to identify their main encampment. But we found a roaming pack of them, and along with Baran soldiers, Tropos, Iche, and I, we began
hunting them down. A battlefield, trees ignited, some drowned within the Stillwater Pond, and I was in pursuit of a duo that were running towards the coastline. I rushed after them, cornered them on a rocky cliff overlooking the waves, and it was not until they turned around and I saw that they were hiding something. I'm not sure if they were male, not sure if they were female, but one of them was holding a Doppler born maybe only a year ago at the time. The Doppler looked at me, not having full control of their abilities yet, and turned into myself, and I stared into my own face. Mace in hand, shield in the other. Atop my mount, I dismounted, and I strolled towards them, 11 paces. 11 paces that I deeply regret, because in those seconds that I strided towards them, I was wondering if I was capable of such cruelty. I stopped 10 feet away from the edge, them backing up away from me, and I let my mace hang by my feet, my shield by my side, and they ran. They ran off back into the forests, back away from our troops, and I've not seen them again. I heard a clanking of armor behind me. Iche had seen the entirety of the interaction. He pointed some soldiers in their direction. I heard arrows loose. Perhaps they made purchase, perhaps not. I'm unsure. As I tried to explain that they had a child with them, that they were no threat, that I was saving my energy for more pressing matters. The last thing I saw with my left eye was his mace coming towards me. He hit me so hard in my head that the last sensation that I had was the plummeting drop down off of the cliffside, his blow sending me flying 10 feet backwards. I thought about my life. In the brief moments of consciousness as my wound stung and my blood mixed with seawater. And I awoke some weeks later, consciousness appearing and disappearing like a specter in the night. And I had lizard folks caring for me. Rosk emissaries, not Rosks themselves, but merchants sailing here to trade their weapons, their armor, for goods. I realized then that I had no siblings, I had no father, and I had no brother either. I hid my face for many days, was able to craft myself masks, each more elaborate than the last, and realized I could never go home. That my cruelty at the hands of my adopted father would bar me from any life in the Feywild. And the betrayal of my brother would ensure death if I ever returned back to my rightful place within the home. I took up my place here, and learning the customs, learning the needs of the people, began crafting weapons for those in need. That is my story. That is what brought me here.
I'm very sorry for what's happened to you.
I have not received much sympathy in the years that I have been here. Thank you.
How did you come to meet Pyle, then?
The times that I have fulfilled custom orders for those staying at the Pierpoint Hotel, I had seen Pyle before. But it wasn't until yesterday evening that him and I had any close contact. A man by the name of Spencer Ashfield, the owner of the Pierpoint Hotel, dragged him, screaming and crying, to the edge of the bridge, the alleyway next to my shop. Threatened to throw him deep into the sea because he put mushrooms on a steak that did not order them. I watched as Spencer latched him to a chain with his heels pressed up against the guardrail, so that every breath and every gaze down felt like an eternity of falling into the storm and the waves. Without thinking, without a word, I took my tinkering tools, broke the chain, brought him inside, gave him food and drink. And then, after a few more customers, you all appeared to me.
And I imagine Carvecut was not looking for Pyle.
The troll certainly was, but I have never interacted with Curvecut before. I'm unsure as to why her crew or her anger was directed towards me. And I am a competent warrior trained in destruction, but I am unsure that without your intervention that I would have been able to survive and escape.
What is Curvecut's deal? Are they like a slaver lord? What are they? Do we know?
A slaver lord, they are, but low in the chain. Currently, at least, was on patrol duty before being reassigned. It's the talk of the city that some important cargo is being moved in 3 days, the moment that the Fury has made their rounds past the Molar Isles.
What's the name of their ship again?
The Hypocrite.
Think your answer's right there.
Emotion without sense. Or action without sense. I would agree.
They, I'm assuming, have not mentioned what this cargo is.
They have not, no. Pardoning the more common language, I believe that is above their pay grade.
Well, is there more, or?
The only thing more, and he touches the mask covering his face, is that which I carry with me. But I would prefer for that to remain private.
Of course. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone have any questions?
I didn't steal your katana, right? That wasn't your weapon. Do you want it back?
I am happy it is out of my possession.
It's a check.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll give you the help. I'll roll 2. I don't really know how to give an insight check with a help action for an insight check.
We just both squint.
What is that?
21.
21?
Ooh,
Yeah.
22.
22. And Mud, I will say that you're able to recognize this as well. Her and Mud, her more recently, and Mud perhaps as a callback to maybe immediate impulses while dealing with the suffering with the mop. Olive, in those books you read about Zan Wei Fu, when faced with a great dishonor, with great pain or great agony, to maintain one's respect and social standing, there are certain practices that can be used with a tanto to finalize certain things. And it seems that Onria has let go of this idea for the first time in many years and has given it to her as a weapon to be used for more noble purposes.
I don't have any real important questions to be asked, just a silly one, if you don't mind, unless other people have more pressing manners.
Mud, do you have anything you'd like to ask or say? I'm dying to hear your question, her.
Was it your idea to make it a gun? Or were you given the gun? Is this the only one of its kind? I saw the big advertisement for a katana gun, so I'm just very curious of how it works.
I told the marketing team that katana guns were very complicated pieces of weaponry, but that was also the marketing team that told me that my name was now Henry. So this I know it is surprising. Some people are not honor-bound to the truth, and will lie to get your money. But, at least for myself, with the pain and cruelty that I have seen, I thought about how this weapon could be modified to suit more purposes than just perhaps its intended one. And there were reports and fairy tales from Alateur about a weapon of similar construction. I simply wanted to add my own style to it.
I haven't used it yet, but thank you, it's very cool.
Of course.
That dang marketing team. If you ever need help with HR, like, we know some people. They go by the names Todd, Cheryl, I forget what the other two's names were.
I don't remember either.
I will bring up your names if I ever run into Todd and Cheryl, the marketing team for the Slaver City, and I'll be sure to file lengthy complaints about my treatment here before I become a fugitive and run for my life.
That's fine, yeah, for sure.
Yes, speaking of fugitives, I don't know if you noticed. I don't want to alarm either of you, but the ship is parked between Curve Cut and Deadshot Dread's vessels. We have no intent that you are safe here. We did not intend. This was the only spot we could find. But in terms of your time here, it's probably best for you to stay here and stay hidden. Kurtka threw herself into a wall of fire. I don't know if she's still alive or where she could have gone, but you are safe here.
I appreciate the assurances. For myself and on behalf of Pyle, we will remain below deck, out of sight, and if you would allow, may we partake in food and water if needed.
Yes, of course, please. Help yourselves to anything. You should also know that once the Fury has left, we intend on progressing further within Eastern waters, which I can't imagine is in your interest.
It is not. It is not. Sailing westward, or perhaps to Superi or Trum, to find a place where slaver laws are not impressed, that would be ideal.
Yeah, there's just a bad person over there currently right now. I don't know if that's the best place to go.
We have a base at Blar Fortress. If you would like to set up there for the time being.
I was going to say that sounds crazy, but I also did watch all of us survive a 200-yard drop into the ocean.
Yes, we are capable of quite much.
I believe with a bit of convincing I'll be able to charter a small vessel from Eleanor, that once the storm has passed we could sail to Balar and set up there for the time being.
Very well.
And then from there, on to civilization. Unless my skills would be required as repayment for the great effort you went to ensure Pyle and my safety.
No. If you wish to stay, you are more than welcome, but we understand that our main interests are perhaps not aligned with yours, so...
Well, I do not speak for Pyle. For myself, find a job as some kind of smith, for weapons or otherwise, and live peacefully in anonymity. But I can guarantee this to you, Olive, Mud, her, that your kindness will be repaid.
It does not have to be.
I still retain some of the culture within which I was raised. He kind of like moves his head back and forth a little and goes, "Favors are not common. We like being on even ground."
Well, thank you for that lesson.
Of course. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to retire.
Yes.
I don't much like heights, and I need a change of clothing, as well as something soft to lay on.
Take your pick.
Thank
What
you.
ours is yours.
Got like 36 empty beds down
Hammocks.
below.
Beds and hammocks.
Hammocks.
It's slumber party. Excellent. And Anria, thanking, kind of like just very gently bowing to all of you, is going to just walk away and begin and just begin like taking off his armor before crawling into a hammock and going to bed.
As they should. It's been a long day.
I'm going to take Piley's hand and lead him to the garden.
the smallest like little garden tucked into like a corner next to a window to like get just the right amount of sunlight. As Piley kind of like kneels down and puts his hand in, like, as you maintained, fresh dirt for the first time in with a shaky breath in a long time, as the druid reconnecting with some part of the earth. Because you gotta remember, this is just a stone fucking city. There's no dirt or vegetation anywhere.
You can help me tend it, but also you never have to make a plant grow you don't want to ever again.
Piley kind of closes his eyes and he grips the soil a bit tighter. And sprouting out from in between his fingers and on top of his knuckles, you're able to notice fungus. Shiitake mushrooms, like edible
Mushrooms, druid.
As you remember this about Piley, a circle of spores druid. Excellent in all things fungus, as he creates a small little patch of mushrooms that begin to grow. As he says,
Mud.
Yo, what's up?
Mud just like his special interest getting activated goes, yes, I needed some decomposers. Yes.
It really feels good.
So good for the soil.
And like Piley's like so happy to see that you're happy and goes, people really don't like mushrooms and they just spawn by accident sometimes when I'm creating food for people, and sometimes I don't notice because I'm so nervous, and I'm just really happy that you need them and that they're going to be good for the plants and the soil.
Oh my god. Do you understand the lack of nitrogen these plants have been having lately? Oh, this is I like lean down and I kiss the mushrooms. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's amazing.
You've been doing such a good job. Yeah, the lack of nitrogen. There's also like almost no sunlight. The fact
I
there
know.
are storms everywhere, and you're able to make things grow and like maintain them in just beneath a ship, which within like an inch of dirt. This is amazing.
Yeah. I come here a lot when I get tired of talking to people. That sounds bad. That sounds like they're always talking to me. But it's nice. It's just sometimes I get tired. But it's nice to have you here.
Pilot looks over and says, kind of like puts a hand on you and says, after they, I was bought by Spencer, and I was shipped over to here. You'd be surprised at the little things that kind of break you down. And one of the things that got to me after a few months was people didn't talk to me. Spencer was one of the only people that I saw outside of customers, and he would just tell me what to make, and he didn't much enjoy talking. And it was after a few months that I realized I wasn't really having conversations with people, that it broke me. I would say, don't take for granted pleasant conversations about things that matter.
Yeah. I think I've always kind of been, maybe even before Tangleroot, I think I've always just kind of been a little off. Not very good at talking to people or at making friends, but I do understand going months without seeing a friendly face.
Piley is definitely curious about how exactly you're talking to him right now, which will be a story for another day. But Piley kind of just like grabs onto your chest and says,
"Let me talk to my friend."
Mud, before everything, we all had to keep each other going. Even no one was perfect. You weren't perfect. But I kept you going and you kept me going, and we kept others going and they kept us going. That's all you needed to be.
Yeah. How was what happened after?
We all hit our production quotas, no matter how high they got. And with that, we are going to cut away from that scene. And we're going to return to that another time. There are more things that we sadly do need to get done, but reconnecting with a scorned noble and a druid. Circle of spores. Everybody hates mushrooms, but it seems that found at least 3 people that can tolerate them. Moving forward ever so slightly, in regards to the plan going forward, you understand that taking a long rest, bringing forward the days by 1, definitely important. You all need to get back up to full in several different ways. But you will have 3 days to contest with the Molar Isles before you're able to leave. I'm going to say that you're all able to reconvene. Ongo being present, Henri and Pyle taking care of each other. You're all able to have a crude kind of drawing put together by the Duke and Rahi about the Molar Isles, and jot down any relevant information as to what her was able to learn in the brief time that she was kind of being shocked around. And you guys are able to begin planning what you will do next.
Do we go to the crown or the filling aisle?
Is this before or after we long rest?
We'll just say it's before. The long rest will happen at the end of this.
Okay.
Okay. The crown or the filling?
It's, as you said, we have a shorter window with AJ in the crown aisle.
Unless he's already been operated on, but I don't think I saw anything like that I'm aware of.
Perhaps we strike there, since we'll have a limited time.
And honest, yeah. And I mean, if we need to hot exit out of Sweet Tooth's place, I know a window.
Literally?
What?
Literally a window, or metaphorically?
Literally a window.
Ah. Oh, the window that Lollipop threw you out of?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going through the front door. We gotta figure out a different way.
Yes, I'm sure the tattoos will come in handy.
Yes. Well, here's the when we're there, we can disguise ourselves as slavers. They do not care about the slavers. But the problem is when we get into the mines, the slavers are in the mines, but not going around the mines specifically. I think that would be the best, to disguise yourself as slavers there. However, trying to get into the other one, I have no idea how to get in.
You said the slavers were in the mines. What do you mean by that?
Weren't they mining?
So slavers and slaves are not the same thing, by the way.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The slaves were mining. Oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The slaves were mining. The slavers were in the office. I have no idea how to get into the other place.
Rocky, Duke, while you were scouting, did anything come up? Perhaps a way into the... Not just the Crown Isle, the office?
They're going to give you both advantage on an investigation check, and Mud, you get an advantage on this investigation check based upon your background. So go ahead and roll an investigation of like how you guys could potentially like access these places in the easiest way possible.
Nat 20.
Incredible.
Let's go!
Incredible.
Yes.
Another 17.
Incredible.
10.
10. You all put it together. Olive, the tactician, Mud, understanding the culture, and her having just been there. I'm gonna flavor this for you, but Olive and Mud recognize this as well. That there's like an overlooked population. Her, you know this, you transformed into one of them and began masquerading as one of them as you investigated the filling aisle. These wide-grinning, simple-clothed slaves in the bronze collars that were doing these like various mining tasks to extract this silver ore that would then be smelted into coins. Now, focusing on the filling aisle for 1 second, you realize that most likely, like in your brief time of like being within Gangplank Crossing, these slaves are they're called rot jaws, at least for the filling aisle. These rot jaws are used to not only extract all this material and smelt it, but also move it to cargo ships. And with these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that the filling aisle and the crown aisle employ, well, there's no way that 13 monstrosities, the baker's dozen and Sweet Tooth, can keep track of every single one. So all you would need to get inside would be the right garments, a bronze collar, and a wide grin. Simply waltz right past security, masquerading as a worker. Now the crown aisle is a bit more complicated, her, and this is going to be where that nat 20 is going to come in handy. Because what did you notice that was odd about Fuse?
Kind of that he was like almost dead behind the eyes sort of thing. No recognition.
And why was that, do you think? I narrated something about Fuse's appearance.
Was it the thing? Oh, was it his head? Or was it the thing he was carrying?
The slaves of the Crown Isle are called shockbacks because they all wear this distinctive, like, bronze and copper backpack that connects to their collar and to their head. And again, these slaves are constantly moving, the Crown Isle being a gold mine, moving these like golden chunks like this money to be distributed out to Tangleroot throughout Gangplank and to the Underhand and the Knuckle plantations. All you would need to masquerade as a slave of the Crown Isle are some of these shockback packs to make you appear to be, and bronze collars as well, to appear to be a member of their organization, a member of the workers.
So, okay, with all of that, we get in. Are we planning to kill MRPHD and Sweet Tooth and the Baker's Dozen?
If it happens, it's a good thing, I think.
I don't know if Enria's in the room, but I don't necessarily, like, if we kill all of them, like, the troll is gone.
Troll's dead.
I don't necessarily want this place to go into anarchy, and then also like some sort of system where maybe like these slaves could like find help. I don't know if Enria might be the person that could potentially do that, if she wants to, if they want to.
I mean,
not a slave ruler, but somebody that's gonna.
No. Yes, no, I understand. We could always ask him. Yeah, DM.
And also with a nat 20, one more thing, because I want to honor, as you just mentioned, the killing of the troll and the dismembering of the tollmen, the slave-catching organization. Well, there's no official organization anymore that is designed to return lost property, hippity-hoppity property. And each one of you has masquerade tattoos. Another way you could gain access to these high-ranking individuals, these slaver lords, Well, no one in this town knows you. You could be a roaming pack of vigilantes that happen to stumble across, say, a runaway slave. Of course, one of you masqueraded as the slave, demanding some kind of reward from the lords. Or perhaps you just have Rahi fly you up to one of the exposed minecarts. There are many ways to do this, which we do not have to decide on now. But if you want to go over any options, we have another 10 minutes if you want to.
Any ideas? Any thoughts?
I mean, I have no qualms with leaving any place on this coast to ruin if it means that people can be freed and take their lives into their own hands.
How many ships are docked here right now?
An excellent question. Eleanor said there are no more available spots. Every single spot on this dock is taken up.
There are
Let's stop.
places they can go.
What's stopping Curve Cut and the other slaver lord from just taking over MRPHD and Sweet Tooth's place?
They have to transport cargo to the Underhand.
You don't think they would just take over here instead?
Go ahead and give me a quick strategy check, her. Intelligence plus proficiency.
Anyone want to give me help?
Can I help?
Guidance.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Help and guidance. Yeah, roll with advantage with the guidance. Yeah.
Me. 13.
With a 13, well, you remember, like, you see Curve Cut's Man of War, Deadshot Dread's Man of War. They only have 120, 150 people crewing those ships. That's a lot of crew. That's a lot of people. Yeah. But in terms of how large this city is and how large both of these mining operations are, like, it seems as though the reason that they're not that far up on the ladder is because they're just a rabbit with a gun and a bird with a sword. And although if they may be experienced warriors, they just don't have the manpower to take over this large of an operation. Like, it seems that, like, with MRPHD having to use, like, it's like you haven't seen that many like enforcers within the mines, her, but it's like Sweet Tooth is using like a Fey enchantment charm, and MRPHD is essentially cheating and using like mind control, essentially. Like, without that, this entire operation would just like fall apart.
Okay. Okay.
Plus, from what we know, this is their first time here. They're probably not familiar with the operations period.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I think we're well within our rights to burn it down.
Okay. All right. So then we're gonna go to the Crown Isle.
Yes, I think that's a better first stop.
When we get to MRPH or Mabel Redwood, do you think there is any way to question, if we could restrain and question them about all of these things we keep coming across?
I think it's doable. We may have to fight.
How do we know they won't just jump into another body and escape?
I don't know. I don't know if that's how they operate. But
Well, this one is definitely important.
yes.
compared to some of the other ones, but this one is definitely important and
Yes.
can maybe get us at least some answers.
Yes. We may have to fight her
Yes.
to get information, but
Yeah.
and perhaps Fuse may have some information
Yeah.
if he's been working for her.
And AJ, if he's still alive.
Yes, that too.
All right.
We can go over specifics, but I think we should get some rest.
All right. Are there any lingering questions for Henri? I thought I heard something mentioned. If not, no problem at all. No?
Just if he'd be interested in becoming a vigilante.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I think it's time that I put my training to good use and put weapons in the hands of those that need them most.
good, because we plan on eradicating Sweet Tooth and MRPHD from the Molar Isles.
I cannot say I'm gifted in the art of politics, but I was a soldier once. I can ensure that the people who choose to remain are not so easily bested.
Good.
And with that, is there anything else?
Once Rahi and the Duke and like everyone else goes back to their respective areas, I want to pull her and Mud aside, either below deck or in
Crow's
somewhere.
nest.
Yeah, crow's nest.
Yeah, you're all the climb up to the crow's nest, no problem.
It's been a long day. I don't want to drag this on for longer than it needs to be. If there's anything that needs to be tied up from earlier, all I'll say is this. Mud, I am just as overwhelmed and terrified about everything that's been happening lately, over the past couple of months. Before I met her and Cowrie, I had never left the Finger Isles. I'd never left my home. This is my first time away from the Arbor, away from Western waters. I'm terrified of something bad happening to me, to all of you, to the people we care about. But I can't. I've sat in fear for so long, and it got me nowhere. I don't want to sit in that fear again. I want to do something. I understand this is a lot. And I understand that we're all under pressure. But I never want you to be afraid of me. Either of you. And I apologize if I've scared you.
Apology accepted. Yeah. I didn't. I'm sorry too. I didn't think, and I left in a way that made you guys think that I was tapping out, and maybe I was. And so I will do better to communicate how I'm feeling.
Thank you. Bard, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I think we all just need to be more mindful of what we say to one another. Sometimes things can be taken the wrong way. It almost like we care about your problems, Mud. We care what you want, and we want you to do what you want, and we want you to be okay and be comfortable. And your problems are just as important as everybody else's.
I'm wherever you guys go, I go. I care about my problems. I'm sorry I interrupted, but I care about your guys' problems too a lot. And I wanna, yeah, sorry. You go.
Well, sometimes it feels like we are holding you hostage here, and we know that if you don't want to stay with us, you can always go, but we care about you.
I wanna be here. I'm not very good at parsing out all the feelings.
It's okay. It takes time. Yeah.
Sometimes you can just say that. If something's getting overwhelming, just say that.
Okay. I don't want to make it all about me. I'm sorry if I have been. We need to save. We need to save the people who are important to us.
We're also going to be helping hundreds and thousands of people that have been in similar situations that you have been, to allow them to to make their own choice. Of course, we'll have our friends back, but it's kind of bigger than us at this point, you know?
Yeah. I was gonna think about that after we successfully killed all the slave lords in this island. Ooh, what a sentence.
Yeah.
It's not putting your problems above everyone's. When we are in the coast, that is the source of your problems.
I would really like to see us help people. And I'm gonna focus on that instead of the terror. And it's gonna be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Do you want to hug Mud? Or give Mud a big hug? And my other arms come out too to give you like a big ultra hug.
It just on every. Oh my god, it's like electrifying your muscles, all kind of like tensing up. It's so good.
Well, you know electroshock therapy is still used today because it is useful for certain mental illnesses.
Yeah. And as the neurons begin firing in
You
Mud's
give me a
brain,
head
a
massage.
level of dopamine is shot out that you have not had in a very, very long time.
Mud was also gonna reach his arm out to offer to Olive, but as the forearms go around him, he gets
my one arm like points to Olive and goes.
I'll join in the group hug.
And with a
The
big,
shock therapy.
We're gonna have to do this when Cowie's awake, because Cowie will be upset that they missed out on this.
That's so true. That's so true. Oh, Cowie's gonna go crazy.
and as you
Yeah.
all make
Sorry,
contact
Rita.
with Her's arms in a big group hug, and as the arms literally cause your muscles to tense, so you cannot leave the hug until Her says it's okay, that is where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Consensual massages all
Yes,
around.
all around.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we all have a
Consensual
good
electroshock
time?
therapy. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
and yes. Okay, so
Ugh.
plans going forward. Oh, okay. First of all, Unria Baran, thank you for giving me 10 minutes to talk about him. Love
Oh my
him a lot.
god. Holy shit.
Yes.
Rip.
Second of all, Pyle, love him. Love him a lot. Very happy he's on the ship. Spore druids are awesome. He has some benefits
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants to, he's going to give you guys at the beginning of next session. Third of all, in terms of planning for what you guys are going to do, feel free to do that on your own time. No need to do that in session. We got a secret chat for a reason. I trust you guys. And then fourth of all, thank you all for wanting to do this with me. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that's watching and supporting. We've never thought we'd have people that actually like this, so it's amazing. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for creating this world, Drew, and for telling these stories.
I'm very
Feels
happy
so
that you guys
good.
like eating the scenery.
Round of applause to Drew.
Alrighty.
gnawing on the walls of my enclosure.
Give me some enrichment materials.
Oh, absolutely. And
Thank you.
and yeah, any compliments from Jason, McClover, Forge of Lore, anyone, they really just do mean the world. They really it's awesome, guys, and thank you.
We've
So
been
yeah.
doing this for so long, and for the longest time, it's just been the 5 of us.
Yeah,
in the
just-
chat,
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
nice having
It's-
other people too.
It's just for the 5 of us going, I think we're good.
I think-
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
I think we're okay.
We're
Yeah.
great.
But with that, we do have to get to signing off. So anyone that's been watching, we really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming to the table. And after a little bit of a break, we'll be back sooner than you know it. So feel free to join the Discord, hang out on YouTube, and we'll be catching you guys later. Peace out. Much love,
Instagram and
guys.
TikTok.
Instagram and TikTok.
And Instagram. Bye.
And Instagram.